Uckfield Community Technology College from Graham, who's 13. Hello, Graham. Graham says, Harry Potter's been amazingly successful as an adaptation. Is there any book or series of books that you think would make a good adaptation, and would you want to be in it?
Wow, there's so many fantastic books out there. I mean, the Twilight books are a great example of, I think personally, what J.K. has really opened up. She's opened up such a great world for the youth to get really into books, really into franchises of books, and for them to be, exploited, but not exploited, but shown in a proper light with film. It's fantastic they can do that. There's so many books, such a hard one to pick from. I'm reading a fantastic book at the moment called The Boy Who Dared by Susan Campbell Bertoli, I think it is. She has an Italian
I have to look that one up.
You have to look that one up. The Boy Who Dared, Susan Campbell. I forget the very last part of her name, but it's an amazing book, and I think it would make such a fantastic film. And yeah, if I ever did manage to get it off the ground, it would be a great one to act in as well. So who knows? Fingers crossed. But you've got to keep it's a good thing to do, especially now. A lot of people are looking at unsigned up material and trying to take it into the next step of taking it into the cinema. So yeah.
Well, you've declared your interest in that one, so hands off everybody else.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. No one else reads it. Stay up there.
Next question comes from Bessecar Primary School, which is in Doncaster again. This is from Liz, and she says, if you could have a magical power of your own, what would it be?
Liz, I've been debating the answer to this question for decades, even though I've only been on the planet for 2 of them. Yeah, I get this one quite a bit, and it's always impossible to tell. I mean, where do you start? Are you with invisibility, or I think flight would generally be a good one. I think the broomsticks could be overlooked. If you could have one, I know it's not so much a magical power, but it's something magical, and I think if you could have that one, or the invisibility cloak.
There's a lot of good
things you could do with that. Yeah, I don't even want to start with the things you could go into with invisibility cloak. But saying that, the broomstick would avoid. You'd be saving the planet. No greenhouse gases with the broomsticks.
Yeah.
Very
volcano ash clouds.
Exactly. You could avoid all of that, and you can save on the petrol costs as well, and traffic. So yeah, I think we'll go with broomstick.
We're going with flight then.
Yeah, it would be a pretty good one, I think.
This is from Broadway Junior School Film Club, and it's from Mrs. Ferry, the coordinator. Hello, Mrs. Ferry.
Hi, Mrs. Ferry.
She says, if you could do one spell in real life, what would it be? So it's kind of similar.
It's a similar thing, but again with the, my repertoire of spells are all evil ones. So I don't know, I dare say, I'll never forget the earliest spell we learned, which of course, a bit of Wingardium Leviosa. I probably said that wrong. I'm going to be corrected any second now on the screen.
Any Latin teachers there?
Yes, lots of Latin, which is only merely to lift something up. But it'd be a good one for at the dinner table, I thought, instead of passing the gravy, just
good party trick.
A little bit of Wingardium, that could do the job. Better than Expelliarmus, something like that. I wouldn't want to cause anyone any harm, of course. Let's stick to the friendly ones.
And technical questions for you.
Oh, Lord, you're going to catch me off guard there.
And this is from Roseacre Primary School Film Club in Blackpool from Harry, who's 11. And Harry wants to know, how do you pretend to fly a broomstick? How does that work? Incredibly
technical question, Harry.
I thought it was real, but Harry...
Well, I dare not shatter the illusion too much for you, Harry. It's of course, it's taken us decades to develop working broomsticks, but now they're there. It took me a couple of years to learn to ride one as well. I feel wrong about ruining the illusion, but in long short of it, it is actually a relatively stable broomstick where it doesn't actually move that much. It just tweaks left and right and up and down, and they have something called a green screen behind us, which is a very light green colour, in which they can remove all of the green and put their own moving images in, which makes us look like we're moving. Big fans on our face and X's to look at and things to grab at, and we look back at it and think, God, I didn't do that. Like, when did I do that? I don't remember flying over this. It's always amazing what they can actually achieve on with a very stable unit. They can create these massive sequences. So yeah, it looks a lot more fun than it actually is. I hate to ruin it.
How long does it take to do those things?
Months. And you're strapped to a rather uncomfortable. You can't imagine. Yeah, those broomsticks aren't very padded. A single stump of wood is not the most comfortable thing to sit on. I will confess. But yeah, we have a lot of fun up there.
Another comment from the chat board, actually. This is from Ethan from Alcombe Film Club. I hope I'm pronouncing that school right, Ethan. And he wants to know whether you like your costume, Harry Potter.
Yeah, Yes, very much so.
You kind of had the best question, didn't you?
Well, you know what? I never used to think that. I used to think, he's always just been fairly okay with my outfit. And then I see Rupert, and I always see what Ron gets some knitted tea cozy on his head, and I think, Christ, I was a bit lucky there. Draco seems to have no sense of casual whatsoever. It's a black suit and tie. He may as well be going to a funeral for every single day because he's just waiting for that opportunity. It doesn't really seem to, even when he's going to bed, he seems to still have a suit and tie on. There's a few occasions where that came up. So, I actually do quite like it. It's a very fitting suit, one of the only suits that does fit me. I've grown quite accustomed to it. I'm going to try and keep it, I think, at the end of the...
maybe wear it to a few parties.
It's not a bad idea, I might pull it out as my little party piece. So, I consider myself pretty fortunate with the costumes, actually, especially in the latter stage of the filming.
Great. This question's from Sutton Hospital Tuition Service again, in Carshalton, from Emma, who's 16. I think we've had another question from Emma, so this is one more from her. And she said, who is your ideal director to work with? I don't know if she means people you have worked with or people you'd like to work with in the future.
Sure, it's a really interesting question, Emma. I'm only a young actor. I've only worked with a sort of handful of directors, but it's very hard to sometimes tell exactly what a director's style is or quite what they want to achieve. But overall, it's about making them happy and getting them excited about what they're seeing. So, using David Yates as a fantastic example, I think he's really my style of director. He's very relaxed.
Was he the first few films?
No, he's just on the later ones. He directed from Order of the Phoenix, and he's doing up to the Deathly Hallows. He's a charming British gentleman who's generally pretty quiet, not too loud or big necessarily. He's quite sort of humble and quiet, and he tells you exactly what you need to hear, I think, for you to do what he wants really for his scene. And there's always a great moment as well where they say cut, and you see him. He does this sort of weird, clappy, happy dance thing, which is all you want to see, really. Once you see that, you think, right, he's got what he wants, and you're happy. So it's always nice to have a director who gets excited, especially when David's been on the set now for over almost 3 years constantly, and he's still excited about the stuff he's getting.
So if you don't see the clappy happy dance, you know you've
messed it up. When they say we're moving on, it's like, I didn't see the happy dance. And it's like, well, you have to just take that on the chin. But I've seen quite a bit of happy dancing from David this year, so we're all very excited.
A couple more questions off the message board, the chat board. Jessica from Heege would like to know whether you have blonde hair for real or if it's a wig. You can probably see, Jessica.
Yeah, again, I hate to shatter the illusion, but there's nothing blonde about my hair. It was a long time ago we dyed it. I actually dyed it 3 times in auditioning. Once brown, darker brown than my own for Harry, and then ginger for Ron, and then finally sort of white blonde for Draco, and I've had that ever since. This is the first sort of month really that I've been back to a normal-ish hair colour. It's not
so
quite.
You kept it in between the.
It was sometimes actually. I had a couple of breaks, but it didn't really do too many favours either, like dyeing it back and forth. So, and I didn't really mind it that much as a youngster. It could have been worse.
You guys should write it on the chat board and tell us if you like Tom's new hair or you prefer it.
Really? Yeah. Shall I go back to blonde? Shall I?
And you'll know.
Yeah. I mean, I have the lovely Jenny with me. We would dye it once every week, literally. So it's quite a strenuous task to keep it.
Yeah. You're probably done with the hair dyeing.
I kind of am. Yeah. As much as I enjoy our company together, we've kind of run to the end of our tether, I think, with dyeing it. So we're trying to get it down to a stable, normal colour. It looks a bit albino, I think. Right? Stand out like a sore thumb. So I'll be glad to see the back of it.
A couple of quick questions. One from Broadway Junior School, from Harry again, who's 10. And he wants to know who's the biggest joker on the Harry Potter set.
Oh, wow. Again,
great
question. Lots of jokers on the set. I consider myself a mild joker myself. But Daniel really has to take the biscuit. Daniel was there the most, and he knows how to entertain himself when times get slow. Whether it's turning your phone language into Turkish or replacing the sugar with salt, he always manages to find a way.
The classic practical jokes.
Of course, practical jokes. Not only that, he plays with words beautifully. He's very knowledgeable of the English language, and he makes good use of it. He reminds me of a young Stephen Fry, which I'm sure he'd like, actually, as a comment, because he's a very big fan of it. But yeah, no, without question, he keeps everyone entertained.